the central problem with your health in wine, and why hundreds of thousands of people trust us and our lab testing and our quantifications on bringing to the market healthy, pure, natural wines. The problem with wine is that it's the largest major food product without a contents label on it. So you have no idea what's in it. If it had a contents label on it, it would look exactly like the rest of processed foods. It would have a whole bunch of names and chemicals and additives that you had no idea what they are. It looked just like this label here that came from a processed food package. I'm sure most of you, like me, when you eat anything that's not whole, raw, or real, you look at the contents label so you know what you're putting in your body. You don't have that option with wine. And I'm going to talk to you about dimethyl bicarbonate and how toxic it is in the next slide. It's marketed under the brand chemical name Valcarin, and it's used to treat tens of millions of gallons of California wine every year. One other question that I commonly get, you go into Whole Foods and you see wine and it says, this is organic grapes. People say, is it okay or is it better to drink organic wine? Well, it is better to drink organically farmed wine than industrial farmed wine. But just because a wine is organically farmed does not mean it doesn't have additives in it. And that's an important distinction. We sell what are called natural wines, and that's a very confusing term to consumers. Or I should say, forget what I sell, you should be drinking natural wine if you're going to choose to drink wine. And I'm going to explain to you what that means in a moment. But just because wine is organic doesn't mean it's natural. However, as you'll learn, all natural wines are always organic. So, to this Valcarin. Now, I've clipped off for you here the dimethyl dicarbonate from Wikipedia, and as you can see down where it says main hazard, it's toxic. So there are 4 very toxic chemicals and additives that go into commercial wines. Now, imagine walking into the grocery store and you see, or in a bottle shop, but it's more kind of dramatic in the grocery store, where you see shelves and shelves and shelves of wine bottles, hundreds or thousands of different labels. Most of those are made by the same people, right? And because it doesn't have a contents label on it, you have no idea what's really in it. It also doesn't have nutritional information. So our wines, which we independently lab test, are always sugar-free. Commercial wines you're seeing in the grocery store can contain up to 30 grams per liter of sugar. To give you kind of a reference mark on that, Coca-Cola has 32 grams per liter. As we see very common lab testing of these commercial wines to be between 16 and 30 grams per liter. Way more sugar than I want to ingest. So this dimethyl dicarbonate has really kind of a special story. It's applied to tens of millions of gallons of wine in California every year. Now, to apply it, the winery has to be empty. A specially licensed contractor comes in hazmat suits. It's so toxic that if you were to breathe it, it'd burn your lungs, or be exposed to it, it'd burn your skin. This is applied to the wine. No one else can be in the winery for 24 hours after application, and if you were to drink the wine within 24 hours, you would die. Now, this is being used commonly. Now, our point of view is if you decide that you want to drink dimethyl dicarbonate or Valcarin, you should have that choice. You should have a label that gives you a choice as to what to drink or what not to drink. You don't have that choice because the wine industry has spent millions of dollars in lobby money to keep contents labeling off of wine. So the fact that wine bottles don't have a contents label or nutritional information on them is not an accident. It is an intentional lobbying act by the U.S. wine industry.